Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Zach Pasquarello, and I wanted to make a quick video on how to reconcile your accounts. So, I'm a bookkeeper. I own Harrisburg Bookkeeping. I am a certified QuickBooks Pro Advisor, and I recently started a trucking company, Route 20 Trucking Company. I started providing a unique perspective for my fellow business owners. The first couple videos I made, I showed you all my profit and loss for my trucking company. I showed my statement of cash flows, and I want to utilize this new business that I started to give you all a real first-hand look into a actual company's QuickBooks. So typically I make my videos with fake QuickBooks accounts, but I want to share not only with my fellow trucking company business owners, my fellow owner operators, my fellow hotshot drivers, but I also want to share this information with my just fellow business owners. This is really applicable to anybody, any single member LLC, general partnership, even if you're an S Corp. If you're a relatively small business and a business owner, you could probably learn a lot from these QuickBooks tutorials, especially if you own a trucking company. So I'm going to show you all how I reconcile my accounts. So I only have one checking account with my trucking company, and I'm going to talk about July. So I'm a little bit behind on my bookkeeping. I have not reconciled my accounts for July, but luckily my bookkeeping is relatively straightforward for my trucking company. So hopefully I can just go in there and input a couple numbers and everything matches up. Without further ado, I will take you all directly to my actual QuickBooks account. So this is for my Route 20 trucking company, my QuickBooks account. And I will show you how I reconcile my account. So this is my first time trying to reconcile my July bank statement and my July checking account in QuickBooks. So hopefully it goes well. But I'm shooting this video live, so we shall see how it works. So let's just jump right into it. Let me move my face out of the way here. Cool. So this is your QuickBooks Online account. You can see up here Route 20 Trucking Company. So the first thing I would do is head over to your banking feed. It might say transactions for you, but transactions, banking, head over to here. Always click update, right away. I always like to update my accounts every time I log in, because your QuickBooks account is typically 24 to 48 hours behind your actual accounts and credit cards. So it's always good to make sure you hit that update button just to update your bank feed. You'll see here updated moments ago, updated moments ago. Make sure that doesn't say like updated June 20th or updated July 1st. Make sure that is updated within the last 24 or 48 hours. That way you're looking at accurate information. So you can generally get a good understanding of where you are with your QuickBooks and your reconciliation just by looking at these two numbers right here. So you can look here and see bank balance and then in QuickBooks. So this bank balance is pulled directly from your actual checking account, your online bank account. And then this QuickBooks balance here is what QuickBooks thinks or shows as your balance in your checking account in your books. So you want these numbers to be somewhat similar, off by a couple pennies, great, perfect penny for penny match, awesome. Off by $100, not a big deal. Maybe $1,000, if you've got hundreds of $1,000s in your checking account, not a big deal. But if you're off, like if this number's positive and this number's negative, probably not a good thing. If you're off by more than $1,000, probably not a good thing. So just take a quick look at these numbers. You can see these numbers match up perfectly, so that's good. These numbers match up perfectly, that's good. These numbers are off by a little bit, but you can see here I have this one here, which means one outstanding transaction that has not yet been categorized. So that would probably explain why I have a little bit of a discrepancy here. But anytime before I reconcile my accounts, I always check my bank feed. I always make sure that I do not have any transactions from the previous month that need to be categorized. So here I'm good. I'm not going to worry about this August transaction right now. Just focused on July. So these green check marks right here mean that I don't have any transactions that need to be categorized from my bank feed. So I'm good to go there. I will head over here to this accounting tab on your left hand side here with your QuickBooks. You can either go to your chart of accounts or you can just go directly to reconcile. I see people reconcile their checking accounts, absolutely. Savings accounts, yeah. If you have a really active savings account, might be a good idea, but most of the time people only honestly have like your interest income. That's all I really see in most savings accounts because for some reason checking accounts require you to also open a savings account. Orangetown Bank doesn't, which is nice because I don't savings accounts give you like 0.1% interest, which is not really helpful in any way. I don't use a savings account. I use an online savings account, but that's kind of a different story. I don't use the classic brick and mortar savings accounts with like local credit unions or local banks. Even Wells Fargo, I don't think their savings accounts offer that great interest. So definitely reconcile your checking accounts. You can reconcile your savings accounts if you use them. I also see people reconciling your credit card accounts. Just keep in mind that reconcile or credit card accounts typically go from like the 15th to the 15th. So it's not going to be, you're not going to be able to reconcile like the entire month of July. You'll probably reconcile your account on a 15 to 15 day of the week basis. So like you might reconcile from July 15th to August 15th, just a little different than a typical checking account. But you can absolutely reconcile your liabilities and your cash checking accounts. You can reconcile your loans payable, your mortgages, all that. But right now, I'm just going to reconcile my checking account because that's probably what the majority of you all are dealing with. So here in your QuickBooks account, it asks you right here, it really lays it out pretty simply for you. Which account do you want to reconcile? You can do the drop down menu and you can choose from your bank accounts, your asset accounts. You can see here I have my truck as a fixed asset, my two credit cards, my truck loan, and then your equity accounts. I'm just going to focus right now on my checking account with Orangetown, and it looks like I actually already reconciled this as of July 30th. So I will go in and delete that real quick. Let's see here. So anytime, this is a great demonstration. So anytime you messed up your reconciliation, you can go into, I'll show you how to get here. So if you're in the reconciliation and if you have an error, just click on this last statement ending date, and then it'll take you to the reconcile page for this checking account. It'll kind of show you like a detailed report. And then if you just go under summary here, let's see, let's go back. Okay, so we're at the checking account, so we'll go to history by account, and then we can see here that we actually already reconciled this account on July 30th. But if we made a mistake, we can, under the action column right here, view report, hit that little drop down arrow. You can either print your reconciliation or you can undo it. Are you sure you want to undo this reconciliation with 23 transactions? Yes, I would like to undo this. You got it. We'll undo this reconciliation. Undo. Success. You undid the reconciliation. So if you made a mistake in your reconciliation, not a big deal. You can always go back and undo it. Just keep in mind that if you reconcile like multiple months in a row and you undo your reconciliation, it's going to undo all of the months and transactions that you reconciled in that single specific reconciliation. So I would always recommend trying to reconcile on a monthly basis. Don't go at the end of the year and try to reconcile all 12 months at once. Just keep up with your bookkeeping. and reconcile your accounts on a monthly basis. Okay, so now we are going to reconcile the accounts. So it looks like this is the first time this checking account has been reconciled because there is a beginning balance of $0, which in fact is true. So here, what you need is, let me make this. You're going to need your bank statement. So I have here my actual bank statement with my checking account, and this is for reconciling your account. So this is my actual bank statement from Orrstown Bank as of July 30th, 2021. And a couple important things here. You're going to see typically your previous balance, so as of your last statement, your balance. And then you will also see usually the amount of withdrawals and the amount of deposits. So here I had 4 deposits of $540 and 6 checks of $1,532. And then it'll have your service fees, any interest, and then it'll have your current balance. So this is really important. Your current balance is the most important number here when it comes to reconciling your account. So you're going to take that current balance, which just look at the date, 7/30/21, your current balance, $4,461.98, and that's all the information you need. So 4461.98, 4461.98, and the date, 7/30/21. With those two numbers, we are basically double checking our QuickBooks account and making sure that on this date, is this the balance that we see in QuickBooks? Because the bank statement is 100% accurate. That's the answers to the test. That's how we're going to grade the test. That's the rubric, if you will. So take your bank statement, enter in these two numbers, and then just hit start reconciling, and then fingers crossed, hopefully you get this nice green check mark here, and that all worked out. So you just want to double check and make sure. So it can get pretty confusing, and you might not understand every little detail when it comes to reconciling your account, but I want to draw your attention to one very important thing. So you can see here these 3. So you can see obviously this dark gray color. Let me make sure it's showing up. Nope. Good thing I checked. Okay, so let me make sure it's showing up here. You can see here the dark gray color, and this blue check mark corresponds to all the transactions that have been included in this reconciliation. And it'll typically match up with the cleared date. So the date of the transaction, and then the cleared date is the date that it actually happened with your checking account. So this is whenever it matched up with an online banking transaction, this cleared date right here. So you can see here these 3 transactions are a lighter gray color because they were not cleared as of the closing date of this bank statement. So that's July 30th. You can see here these cleared transactions happened August 9th. So they will not have a blue check mark next to their number because they did not clear from the checking account. So that's very important. Always double check to see which transactions cleared, which transactions did not clear. So this most often happens, let's say you write a check to a vendor or a contractor and you record it in your QuickBooks. So let's just say, for example, on July 15th, I wrote a check to a local supply company because maybe I got a pallet jack from them, wrote a check for July 15th, and for whatever reason, they did not deposit that check into their checking account. So in my QuickBooks account for my business record keeping and bookkeeping, I will report that expense as of July 15th. So I will have written a check as of July 15th, so that'll be an expense on that date, but it doesn't clear my checking account until the next month or the next week. So I won't include that in my reconciliation because there was no actual transfer of cash or money. So that's where it can kind of get confusing when it comes to a reconciliation. But just always, check all the transactions to make sure that they all actually cleared. So this time, everything worked out perfectly. And if you have your bank feed set up, everything should work out perfectly. You can always check the number of deposits, the amount of money deposited, the amount of payments. If you ever want to just double check your reconciliation, and then all you have to do is just hit finish now. So that's pretty straightforward. And then right there, your checking account has been reconciled. And then I want to go over one last thing, just to kind of give you guys an update on the status of my trucking company. I hope to do this every single week just to give you all a true and real perspective, because I think so often with these box truck companies, people will say, 10,000 gross this week, 20,000 gross revenue this past month, I'm crushing it. Everyone should do this. And I think that's great. That's great motivation, but it's not always the case. So I'm going to give you guys an actual depiction of what's happening in my trucking company. Might be better than most, might be worse than most, but at least it is accurate in what's actually happening. So I'm going to go on a weekly basis. So I'm going to go here and just go from August 1st to August 7th. And I'm not sure what happened, but we're about to find out. So from August 1st to August 7th, this is just 1 week of owning a trucking company. And I don't drive the truck unless I absolutely have to. Sometimes I do, but I don't normally drive the truck. So if you watched my previous video from July, I think I lost like $4,000 in July, because that's the month I bought the truck. And I had a lot of repairs and I didn't really make any money. I think I did one run, made $600 in July, and I ended up spending like almost $5,000 on my truck and everything. So in the first week of August, it looks like I had a pretty good first week. Earned about $2,000, and that came from, looks like 4 different runs. So 600, 400, 300, and 700. I use a factoring company, so I get paid within 24 hours of completing the job. So I made $2,000 in the first week of August. I will tell you 100% that that is not an average week for me. And next week I'll show you guys the second week of August, and it will not be that good, I promise you. Dispatching fees, spent $190. So I typically pay my dispatchers 10%, so that almost adds up. Dispatching fees, I pay my drivers, I pay for their hotel. So if they go over the road, if they're driving to, Colorado, Texas, California, Florida, Maine, wherever they might be driving, they have to stay in a hotel room. I don't have a sleeper cab, so I pay for their hotel. It's usually $75 a night. So that's what that hotel fee is. And all of that is under cost of goods sold for cost of labor. So dispatching fees, hotel fees, that is all under cost of labor. And then lastly, I've got my fuel here, $216 for my truck fuel. So my gross profit after my dispatching fees, my hotel costs, and my truck fuel is $1,445 in the first week. So a lot of people do much better than this. A lot of people might do worse. I have no idea. This is just how my trucking company is going. This is where I'm spending my money. This is how I'm earning my money. Just kind of trying to give you guys a real, true perspective. Factoring fees, I pay 3% for everything that's factored. My job supplies, I got a paperback journal log for my daily driver log and my vehicle inspection, but I ended up returning it to Amazon. So that's why you see there that negative $59. I bought it in July and I must have returned it. Let's see this. Office supplies and software, $89. Yeah, I got a website, route20tc.com. I spent $89 on maybe the hosting for the website. It's not super important, but it actually got me a job last week. So I would recommend just get a really simple website. Don't pay someone thousands of dollars to get your website up and running, but just pay for the hosting, do it yourself. Or, if you've got a friend who's artistic and creative, have him or her make you a very simple website, just so you're on the map, just so people can find you. Truck maintenance, $124. Windshield washer, pump, I had to replace that, $124. So it's kind of nice in the memo here. I'm as descriptive as I possibly can be. That way, if I ever want to look back at my profit and loss, I can see kind of where I spent on maintenance. So you're going to spend a lot on maintenance. I have projected $50 every single day for maintenance, so $1,000 a week just on maintenance on a simple box truck. So $124 in the first week of August, and I just had to replace the windshield washer pump. So all in all, my total cost of goods sold was $500. My total expenses was $300, and my net income for the first week was a little over $1,000. So I could go on and say gross revenue $2,000 in my first week of running my box truck, and that'd be cool. But keep in mind, you got to pay your dispatcher, you got to pay for fuel, factoring, maintenance, supplies, and just keep that in mind before you start any business, before you get too excited. There's always fees and expenses associated with running a business. So I'm going to continue making these videos. I'm going to keep giving you guys like an accurate, real-time, true perspective of what it takes to start a trucking company. And I'm going to keep showing you guys my books. So I hope this is helpful. If anybody needs help with your bookkeeping, especially if you're a trucking company, dispatcher, logistics, broker, carrier, shipper, if you are in the logistics industry, definitely reach out. I'd love to work with you. But even if you're just a business owner, not in the logistics or trucking industry, I've got over 20 clients right now, and I do their bookkeeping for them. So I'd be happy to work with you. If you have QuickBooks, if you need help, feel free to reach out. Check out my website, harrisburgbookkeeping.com. I'm pretty active on Facebook. My business page is just titled Harrisburg Bookkeeping. So reach out to me, send me an email. If you guys want me to make a specific video to help you out with your QuickBooks, I'd be happy to share. And I will see you all in the next video.